Penguin Audio presents The Godfather's Revenge by Mark Winegardner. Read by Scott Brick. Ancora una volta alla mia famiglia. Men must either be flattered or crushed, for they will revenge themselves for slight wrongs, while grave ones they cannot. The injury, therefore, that you do a man should be such that you need not fear for revenge. Machiavelli, The Prince. Prologue. Dressed in a tuxedo and his ratty old fishing hat, Fredo Corleone, who was dead, stood before his brother Michael in the middle of the dark cobblestone street in Hell's Kitchen where they'd lived as children, a fishing rod in one hand and a naked woman on his arm. It was twilight. Fredo seemed poised between laughter and tears, which was heartbreakingly familiar. At the end of the block, the 11th Avenue freight train, which had long since been rerouted and dismantled, rumbled toward them, but was still out of sight. "I forgive you," Fredo said. Blood began to pour from a wound in the back of his head. Michael Corleone did not know what he was seeing, but he knew it wasn't a dream. He certainly did not believe in ghosts. "That's impossible," Michael said. Fredo laughed. "True," he admitted. "Only God can do that, right?" Michael, on the stoop to their apartment building, felt nailed to the spot. There was no one else around. The woman was curvy and milky white, raven-haired, a little bit sheepish about being out in public like this, but also brave, the kind of woman who didn't care too much about what other people thought. "God," Michael said. "Right. You want to fish?" Fredo extended the rod, grinning. "Or do you want to fuck around?" The woman stepped forward. As she moved through the mottled light, she changed into a rotting corpse, then back into Michael's very ideal of beauty. "Let me know, huh?" Fredo said. "Contrary to what you may think, I can set things up. I know you're lonely. I know you're all alone. If not this, then something. I want to help you, Mike. I want you to be happy." "Happy?" Michael said. "Don't you think that's a little childish, Fredo?" Michael immediately regretted saying this, but Fredo didn't seem to take offense. The woman kissed Fredo, and he kissed her back. At the end of his fishing pole, there suddenly appeared a tuna almost as big as Fredo himself. The tuna thrashed, then began to bleed too, as if it had been both speared and clubbed. The naked woman looked at the fish and started crying. "I keep getting confused," Fredo said to Michael. "Why did I have to die?" Michael sighed. Same old Fredo, even dead, in need of explanations for things he should have understood by instinct. "I understand revenge and all that, but what happened to me compared to what I did, it don't exactly balance out. It makes no sense. This ain't exactly your eye for an eye justice, Mike." Michael shook his head sadly. "Fredo," he whispered, "I'm not saying I didn't fuck up, because I did." Fredo was still bleeding, but slower now. "Those fellas I gave that information to? Roth and Ola and them? I told them things not knowing how they'd use it, but to be honest with you, what did I tell them that amounted to anything? When you'd be at home? Christ. There was only one road into and out of your place in Tahoe. A goddamn babuino could have figured out when you were home. So when they tried to kill you, how was it my fault? As for the other things I told them that might have helped bring about peace, I understand it was wrong to go."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?